Hi, welcome to Devotionables, brief devotions for busy people. My name is Cole, and today we find ourselves in Psalm 131. Listen as I read the word of the Lord. A song of ascents of David. O Lord, my heart is not lifted up. My eyes are not raised too high. I do not occupy myself with things too great and too marvelous for me. But I have calmed and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child is my soul within me. O Israel, hope in the Lord from this time forth and forevermore. Hope, quietness, calm. I want those things. Don't you? Well, this psalm shows us where to find them, and it invites us into the narrow way that leads to life. And as we walk through this psalm together for the next few minutes, let's allow the Spirit of God to lead us to those green pastures. First, we learn that humility is the way. Humility is the way to fellowship with God and with one another. In verse 1, the psalmist says, O Lord, my heart is not lifted up, and my eyes are not raised too high. I do not occupy myself with things too great or too marvelous for me. Humility. It's recognizing that God is God and I am not. That God is the King and I am not. God is infinite and I am finite. God is strong and I am weak. I don't have all the answers. He is all wise. It's laying down my rights, my glory, my resume, and submitting completely to Him. Hallowed be your name, O Lord, your kingdom come. All my boast is in Jesus. Remember, this is a psalm of ascents, and it's one of the few we know the author, David, King David, the king who was deserving of honor and praise, is here humbling himself, submitting completely to the honor and the glory of God. This is a psalm of ascents. It's collected at some point for use by God's people as they traveled up to Jerusalem to worship. And interestingly, no matter where you came from, you always said, I'm going up to Jerusalem. And I think there's something more than geographical significance in that statement. You always went up to the temple because God is high and exalted, and we always go up to Him. And think about this, as you were traveling, singing this psalm of ascents to the temple, as you traveled up towards the height of Jerusalem, your heart bent low in humility. And all of us are pilgrims. So this is a psalm for us. And really it shows us the way that the entire Christian life is to be lived, day by day, in all of our relationships as we journey together to the new Jerusalem that God will bring. This is true wisdom, humility in the face of majesty and mystery. And this leads us into the heart of the psalm in verse 2. Because if God is my God, if God is King, then the King is my Father. My Father, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. The psalmist writes, I have calmed and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child is my soul within me. It's an interesting image, isn't it? A weaned child. A weaned child is not like an infant who cries and thrashes about for its mother's milk. A weaned child has been lovingly but forcibly taught to depend upon his mother. He has learned through the withdrawal of his mother's milk that his mother is good and will provide all that he needs. Indeed, the withdrawal of his mother's milk in the weaning process is so that his mother can give him something better, something that he needs more. A weaned child is one that is at rest with his mother because he knows the goodness and the faithfulness of his mother. And the psalmist literally here says, I have made my soul like a weaned child leaning against his mother. What a sweet picture. Perhaps the psalmist even used words from Psalm 116. Gracious is the Lord and righteous. Our God is merciful. He preserves the simple. When I was brought low, he saved me. Return, O my soul, to your rest, for the Lord has dealt bountifully with you. Learned trust, learned submission, learned peace. This is so important and so encouraging for us because it reminds us as God's people growing into the image of Christ, walking along the way, that this is a contentment that we can learn, that we can grow in, that we can mature in. This kind of trust leads to the confidence and the hope of verse 3. A hope that we experience ourselves, but a hope that we want to invite others into. As the psalmist calls to us, hope in the Lord. And as we've been walking through this passage, as we've been walking with the psalmist, as it were, up to Jerusalem in worship, allow me to run ahead just a little bit. I think if this psalm were echoed, restated in the New Testament, it would be in 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 6 and 7, where Peter writes, Humble yourselves before the mighty hand of God, that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your cares on him because he cares for you. And that casting is not a one-time event. It is a consistent, persistent act of the will in faith. And it's interesting to me, the word that Peter chooses for casting. To my knowledge, it is used only one other time in the New Testament. It's used in Luke 19 in the triumphal entry, when the disciples cast their cloaks upon the back of the donkey that their Messiah would ride upon into the city. My friends, wherever you are right now, cast your cares upon your Savior. See him there, riding this humble King upon your cares, your burdens being borne by him into the city as Christ rode upon the donkey into Jerusalem. Watch him as he bears your burdens through the city and beyond to the cross, and see there just how faithful and just how good your humble Savior is. And see there at the cross how he deals with your cares and with your burdens. Indeed, he is the humble son of David. This psalm penned by David is all about the son of David, Jesus Christ, our Messiah, who humbled himself to the point of obedience, even death upon a cross. And we follow him. We follow in his footsteps. Psalm 131 is his psalm, and through him it is our psalm. He walked it out, and we follow him. This is the way, 9th and O. Walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls. And so, in the words of the psalmist, 9th and O Baptist Church, hope in the Lord from this time here today, forth and forevermore.